Breaking news, everybody. J.C. French, quarterback J.C. French is quarterback one for the Georgia Southern Eagles. And I'm going to be honest, I'm actually a little excited, even though he was not my choice. I know what he brings to the table, and I think this is going to be really huge for Georgia Southern going forward. And it's a lot to unpack here, though, when you really talk about it. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I am VF Baller. This is the First and Frame Rate Show, the First and Frame Rates channel. I do a podcast here once a week, and that's going to be ramping up later on in the month, starting the beginning of September, around that area. And we're going to talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. So today, we are going to talk some Georgia Southern. We talked a little bit of Atlanta Falcons the past couple days. And look, hey, man, Georgia Southern, I think they picked the right person overall. For me, I wanted Colton Fitzgerald to be the quarterback, but I understand why this pick was made. J.C. French saw some time more than anybody outside of Davis Brin last year, and there's always been a lot of, rumblings about his name ever since he transferred from Memphis to come to Georgia Southern. Kid from Roswell, Georgia, 6'1", 210, very athletic for, his size. I'm going to be honest, he's 6'1", 210, but you wouldn't think that he can move. He can move around in the pocket. He can move a little bit. He has a very talented arm, and for what everything is worth, I'm actually surprised that he actually beat out Dexter Williams, because Dexter Williams came from Indiana as a senior, and I thought that he was going to be the next guy, just like Kyle Van Treese came from Buffalo, Davis Brin came from Tulsa, and you get that veteran quarterback in here. But when you talk about veteran, even though he's a redshirt sophomore, J.C. French has everything you need to run, basically the offense that Coach Helton wants to run. And I think it's going to be a little bit more of a tweak to what they're used to running last year, because with Ryan Applin being the offensive coordinator, it's going to be really different as far as running the ball. Based on what we've seen in practice, based on what we've seen in the scrimmages, there's been a much more emphasis on the running game, and you saw it with the stats during the scrimmage. It's more of a balanced attack. I talked about that in an earlier video. But with that being said, let's talk about J.C. French. Let's talk about what he's done ever since he's been at Georgia Southern. 23-24, he played 10 games, 48 offensive snaps. He was 13-16 for 122 when he played against against the Citadel. No, it doesn't say that here. No, never mind. Well, I guess that's overall. I'm sorry, that's not the complete game. I'm reading it off of GS Eagles website. You can go check it out. I have the link down in the description. Completed all 4 passes against the Citadel. Ran the ball 4 times for 10 yards at Wisconsin. 2 for 2 for 19 versus Ball State. Coastal, he had 2-yard rush running game in a win against Coastal Carolina. 4 for 5 against James Madison. Man, I want to forget about that James Madison game. Carried the ball twice for 8 yards. Completed a 2-yard pass against ULM. Had 1 run in the win over Georgia State. Had a 6-yard run at Texas State. Had 1 rush against Old Dominion. He had his first collegiate touchdown pass against App State. He went 2 for 4 for 39 before leaving the game with an elbow injury. Didn't play in the bowl game. So you kind of see he didn't play much when he did play. Overall, like I said, 13 for 16, 122. So very efficient pass, I would say. I mean, 13 for 16, you can't beat that. You look at his total stats, which I should have did instead of rambling, but that's okay. 2023, like I said, he was 13 for 16, 122, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, longest pass of 25 yards, 81% completion. And with him being the guy on the, roster as QB1, you're going to see a lot more of that. A guy who can move around in the pocket, a guy who can help with the run game, a guy who can throw the ball and make pretty much every throw that needs to be made. I mean, very talented quarterback from Memphis. Was actually pretty happy that he was coming to Georgia Southern. But on top of that, you had like a whole bunch of quarterbacks coming in at the same time. So you really didn't know who was going to be the starter. So now you see where this is the first time that there's a real, competition, and J.C. French rise to the top. Unlike the other time, you didn't know it was a competition. You just had a lot of quarterbacks and didn't really know, because it was more of a seniority situation. That's what it felt like when Brin and Kyle Van Treese was here. But now you got a time where it's actually a competition, and it looks like J.C. French wins that battle. And I am actually pretty excited. because, like I said, even though I wanted Colton Fitzgerald, French still knows his offense. I think him and Colton came in at the same time, to be honest. I think Colton was here a year before. I don't quote me on that. I can't remember. But I just thought that with him being a little bit older, you would want to get a more of a veteran leadership in there, especially even when Dexter came in. I would have thought Dexter would have been the guy as well. But no, J.C. French, you couldn't make the case that he's more talented than all of them, and he gets the nod. He gets the nod, and I'm pretty sure Coach Clay Helton is more familiar with him as well. So it works out for everybody at the end of the day. And plus the fans. A lot of fans really wanted J.C. French. So this really works out for everybody. The only thing we need now is to see how well he performs on the field. And based on what we've seen, he has the tools to actually perform. So it's not nothing that we can't say that is any worries. I think anybody else that goes out there, it would be a little bit of a concern. Even that's one reason why I said I wanted Colton, because he's been there the longest. I think him and French came in at the same time. Don't get me wrong. If I got that wrong, I can't remember. But the coaches made the decision, and this is the QB1, and I'm okay with this. I never was against French. He was like my 1A, 1B, but it is what it is. And I think people are really going to love this. I think they're really going to love seeing a kid like this play, because he does have the talent. I think he's a little more mobile than the pick that I had, but Coach Clay Helton picked him, and I think this is going to be really cool. So with that being said, I can't wait to see how this team is going to perform against Boise State, and we already know who the quarterback is, so that is really neat. And we're just going to go from there. So let me know what you guys think about J.C. French being the quarterback for Georgia Southern. I mean, what do you guys think? I think it's a good look at the end of the day, because you can't go wrong. It's not like it's not a bad pick. It's not my pick. It's not my preference. But I do believe that J.C. French will get the job done. Absolutely. So I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all let me know what y'all think. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. You guys are absolutely awesome for rocking with me. I cannot thank you guys enough. And I can't wait till these games will start. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace.